Looking around, it's hard not to feel overwhelmed sometimes. We've all got rising bills, and perhaps there just isn't enough left at the end of the week. The climate is changing because of humanity's actions, and we see the impact of that crisis on some of the poorest communities in the world. We know that war doesn't solve anything, and yet there are so many conflicts around the world, as well as in our own communities. And maybe we know firsthand the impact of experiencing discrimination for who we are. How can we, as mere individuals seeking to follow Jesus, resist being sucked into despair or inaction in the face of so many injustices? How, against apparently overwhelming odds, can we insist on seeing all people as being made in the image of God and own the political and practical consequences that flow from this astonishing statement? Well, whilst this calling to follow Jesus is an individual one, it is also, and most importantly, collective. We are called to transformative hope together. This is why this summer the Methodist Conference will be considering a report called A Justice-Seeking Church. The Methodist way of life includes a commitment to seek justice, and this flows through our worship, our life together, our participation in the wider world, and how we share God's love. The report proposes 3 ways that Methodist churches, and we as Methodists, can deepen our witness as justice-seeking people. Why we do justice, what we do, and how we do it. The first way looks at why we do justice and introduces 6 principles for justice. These principles are our underpinning beliefs about God's justice, about what it means to be made in God's image, to be fully part of God's creation, to share God's attention for those who are in poverty or are marginalised, to own our common responsibility for justice, to live and grow in ways that reflect God's kingdom. Sharing and conferring on these principles for justice may help us in our discernment and our decision-making. The second way is through agreeing what is ours to do in this time and place. After a process of conversation and listening, 5 priorities have been identified: poverty, the environment, refugees, discrimination, and peace. Areas where the need for justice is great and where many Methodist churches are already working. Having shared Methodist priorities for justice means that we can try to focus our resources together on contributing to transformation for justice. The third way proposed in the report explores how we do justice. The report recommends 5 ways of practicing justice and asks how we can orient ourselves to be more Christ-like in our practices so that people experience liberation and transformation. Can we be with people more, not working for them? Be more humble in our communities? Be more attentive to the use of power? Seek transformation and not just sticking plasters, and root more of what we do in God and in prayer. These are the questions that we can keep asking of ourselves as we make decisions, review our work, start new partnerships. How can we embody justice in our practices? The Methodist Conference will be asked to adopt this report as a clear statement of the Methodist Church's commitment to being a justice-seeking church, and as a framework for rooting what we do in our principles, our priorities, and always exploring how we can improve our practices for justice seeking. If the conference does adopt the report, each of us in our different churches and communities with our various challenges and resources will hopefully find this framework helpful, using the principles and priorities and practices as we look at the needs of our community and what we're called to do, what we are doing as God's churches in that place. Being a justice-seeking church means that we seek to follow the call of the God of justice together, growing closer to God and living in hope, reflecting God's kingdom of justice and joy. You can find the Justice Seeking Church report, together with an audio version, at methodist.org.uk/walking-with-Micah.